First of all, what views need to be reassessed though? What was the problem? To be as charitable as physically humanly possible to people that are mad, it's probably because I even brought up the fact that like Blake Lively's marketing initiatives were bad. Hey, HasanAbi, I saw a thread talking about your misogynistic blind spots and biases when covering the Blake Lively smear campaign and Justin Baldoni getting exposed as a sexual predator situation. I honestly watched Caroline cover it, and I think you need to reassess some things, please. There are fans defending you blindly, thinking of it as a personal attack on you to criticize you. I can't begin to explain to you how little I care about this. I'm gonna be honest, 100%. Like, yeah, Caroline's coverage, I saw at least some parts of it was quite similar to mine, which is that like it doesn't matter what Blake Lively did, her vibes or whatever the fuck is completely irrelevant to the valid claims that she made on set, being made uncomfortable and the like. Didn't you not even want to cover it? I didn't because I'm sorry, but the highest level of mental illness is like radfem accounts that perceive you as like someone who is secretly misogynistic, who you know, has this like dormant misogyny that must be erased from your commentary, even if the overarching point that I kept hammering on over and over again is that like Blake Lively's valid claims, Blake Lively does not have to be like a perfect victim, and that her vibes overall are irrelevant to the valid claims that she had made, and that supercharged misogyny is being utilized by PR firms in an effort to basically vilify any woman with a valid claim in general. If you have a disagreement with that, in any particular way, because you got primed off of like a Twitter thread that you watched or a Twitter thread that you read that hyper focused on any of the instances where I've talked about Blake Lively's like bad vibes overall and not necessarily the broader point, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, think about it. 80 minutes of coverage on a particular issue. I'm covering it up and down. Okay, it's relegated to a 10 tweet Twitter thread. What do you think? Do you think that this is the entirety of my coverage? Do you think that it had, or do you personally think there is no reason to ever even bring up any number of different things that Blake Lively might have done because it played a formative role in the smear campaign in general? Responding to people in the chat, clips out of context. Yeah, that's true. The reason why I usually don't respond to this stuff is because I don't necessarily give a shit. It's ultimately unproductive. And most people just turn around and say, well, f you. And then they clip my response to it to be like, he's doubling down. He's a misogynist, which is fine. If you want to think that, they go ahead. I mean, look, if I was a fucking misogynist, I would be an infinitely more popular person online. Let's be real. Okay. Hasan, I love you in this community, but please stop calling any criticism of this or like the herd trial of some rat fam. It's just that thread is getting blasted by people with feminism far from their chief concerns. I know. It's okay. I mean, we can have disagreements. That's also another part of this issue. Like, we can have disagreements on this. If you think that like the way I'm covering this stuff is bad, then yeah, you can get it elsewhere. Caroline is a much better person at covering these kinds of issues. You know, I recommend Caroline's coverage on this matter rather than mine. It's also something that I just don't give a shit about overall, other than the fact that, like I said, people are really leaning on pre-existing systemic biases that like misogyny, supercharged misogyny, in an effort to smear any woman with a valid claim. That is my overarching assessment of this situation. That's the same thing with Megan Thee Stallion as well. It's something that I have talked about quite a bit. Now, the point here is this, okay? The point here is this. Do you disagree with that overarching assessment? Do you disagree with that at all? Or is it simply aesthetic? Is the disagreement you have with me on my main point? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Or is the disagreement my aesthetic, the way I'm covering a story? What is it? They clipped out your main points so they don't even know it. That's what I'm saying. You and Caroline literally said the same thing. This is literally just chatters who wait till you say something for it to become their opinion rather than forming one of their own. Yeah. The thread literally said you just lacked tact. The thread was all about aesthetics. Yeah. This is, I think, a weapon for me. Me lacking tact and me having jagged edges in my commentary might not come across as aesthetically pleasing to you. And it doesn't, like, I don't know, babies being brutalized in fucking Gaza. And it's just impossible for me to do that. It's never going to happen. Okay? That's it. If you are, if you don't like the overarching way that I cover certain stories, maybe it's just not for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to do a performance for you is what I mean. And I'm not going to be able to change the way I cover certain things. Isn't it just another case that when you're talking about black issues, you're not talking to black chatters? When you're talking about trans issues, you aren't talking to trans people? Exactly. And when I'm talking about like supercharged misogyny being utilized by PR firms to vilify women when they make valid claims, like valid sexual harassment at the workplace claims, I'm not talking to women. But it doesn't matter. It's just like, it doesn't fucking matter. Everybody thinks, no, you have to serve me with the content. You know what I mean? You have to serve me. And it's like, no, it's not for you. It's not for you. You are not the target of. And that kind of hurts people's feelings, I think. They just want me to like change my commentary or the way I talk about certain subjects in a way that like suits your own individual aesthetic purposes. And that's not the case. Chatter saw a single Twitter thread and think you're doing PR. The Twitter thread is nothing. And if you weirdo drama freaks would stop going insane over every single bit of drama, this wouldn't even be a thing. The best part are people coming out of the woodwork saying how vindicated because they always knew I was a sexist, misogynistic pig. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's it. I should be outwoking them by saying I'm autistic. And that's why I talk about things in a blunt way. And you're being ableist. You know what I mean? Hit him with that. Hit him with that counter. Now, having said that, does this mean I'm leaving the left? No, of course not. You know, you can suck my dick. I'm not going to change my attitude. I'm not going to change my opinion. Many different groups from marginalized backgrounds have spoken out about the ways in which I cover certain topics that pertain to their own personal marginalized identity and have said that I am not good in my coverage or I'm not thoughtful in my coverage. And I think I need to hold a space for queer media in my coverage or whatever the fuck, right? All this stuff is silly and it doesn't work and it's not going to work here. This is the package. If you don't like it, well, you don't like it. There's not really much I can do about it. So yeah, it's mainly about the reason these talking points about Blake Lively are even out there is because of the PR campaign and you reinforce the points every time you deflect to them. Okay. Once again, the main point is none of that matters. Her claims are valid. None of that matters. Okay. If you can't comprehend that, I don't know what to tell you. This is not just for you. Not everyone is like, babe, is there ever a time when someone is not canceling you? Yeah. You have to remember, it might not be for you. It might not be for you. If you hear me say something that comes across as though it is hyper focusing on a aspect of the story that you think is wrong to hyper focus on, it might not be for you. It might be for others, for example, that don't know what the f is going on with the Blake Lively situation. Maybe they saw the clips. Okay. And why is it on the For You page? Yeah. Well, it is definitely for a lot of you. You just vaguely talk about rat films and sometimes it feels like this is a term to paint all women who disagree with you. Yeah, it is. Okay. It is. That's what I'm doing. It's because it's not, the secret's out, guys. I don't like women. Okay. The secret's out. This entire time I was actually trying to make the world a more tolerant space, or at least the community that I have cultivated, a more tolerant space so they could inevitably make it harder for me to be misogynistic. Even though there are literally podcasts out there where the dumbest, ugliest cretins on the planet could just get a sure mic and just go, women are bitches, they're whores, they should die, I hate them, and get like 1 million views. So why the would I find a weird space for myself where I am cynically, secretly talking about patriarchal constructs and things of that nature, so that I can secretly turn around and make play misogyny on New Game Plus difficulty? Why would I do that? A question that should be on everyone's minds is that if I am this secret misogynist, why wouldn't I just be out with it when it's literally a marketing technique? Andrew Tate straightforwardly became one of the most famous people on the planet by just doing that, just hitting that note over and over again. Women are bitches. Like, that's what he said over and over again. And women are bitches his way into massive fame. Why would I do that? Okay. Women are bourgeoisie. Anyway, yeah, to get more sex. Okay. First of all, I don't need to fake male feminist myself to get sex. Okay. Your mother gives me plenty, just so you understand. Also, more sex. How about any sex? People are so funny when they hit like the 2016 lines. Brother, first of all, what views need to be reassessed though? What was the problem? To be as charitable as physically humanly possible to people that are mad. It's probably because I even brought up the fact that like Blake Lively's marketing initiatives were bad in general. Like a movie about domestic violence and sexual assault being covered in like a cheery way is not, you know, is inappropriate, and she's an adult and also has like some level of power, some level of negotiating power, some power throughout the creative process, where she could have just put her foot down against Sony, the studio's wishes, and been like, no, I'm not going to do that. This is a goddamn movie about, this is not a movie about flowers. Okay. This is a movie about domestic violence. I'm not going to talk like, you know, cover it like it's a Barbie movie. We're not going to barbify a movie about domestic violence. That was my major point. That was like one of the things that I said. And chatters got real about it and got really in their feelings. And they were like, no, you don't understand. Blake Lively has no power over this process. She couldn't like deny Sony's contract or some shit. But it's fine. Bro, it's a movie. What's the big deal? Yeah, it's not. What? Hasan, why are you always crying about Trump? Seems like he has a large block of real estate inside that little head of yours. The president, the next president and the former president of the United States of America is living rent-free in my mind. Is that the argument that you made? Brother, he's not like a drama farming pervert YouTube content creator who's on the verge of being canceled for grooming a 16-year-old in a Discord server. That's the fucking president, dumbass. This is the right-wing version of liberals who are like, why are you platforming Donald Trump? What is happening? Dean's so cool. Thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream, brother. We're having we started off strong today. Anyway, I didn't even finish my fucking personal news hour. But yeah. We had to increase Kaya's drugs. That's number one. She's zooted out of her goddamn mind. But also, what is this? The next Toyota for the Piker family. But also, I balled my freaking face off this morning. I played with the Pinoy gang. I played with the Swagapino League this morning. Doing full court, zone defense, out of control. I was going coast to coast like a motherfucker. I'm on antibiotics myself, just like my baby girl Kaya, because I just got the root canal done. But basically, I was clamping, dude. I was going crazy, coast to coast. Ain't nobody guarding me. Obviously, you know, it's the Swagapino League, so you know there's definitely a height advantage that I had, I will admit, and a weight advantage that I had. Bro, why do Filipinos only play zone defense? It's because it's first of all, swag. Second of all, it's dads. I'm playing against dads. So obviously, dads don't want to run too much. Yeah, the 6 foot and under squad was getting. Stop saying that super word. I will never. I'm aware that I'm a bit of a rat fem. Like, I fully agree with your take. Victims don't have to be a perfect victim. The point is, anyone can be a victim. I don't like Blake Lively and her shitty husband getting married on a plantation is only one of the reasons she's still a victim. Exactly. But if you bring that up, they're going to be like, oh, that's a smear campaign. You're doing Justin Baldoni. You're doing a pro Justin Baldoni smear.